today we're going to be working on opening the front of the hip. And if you're new to my channel, click subscribe below and leave me a comment. The reason we're doing this video today is because someone said, hey, my hip flexors need some mobility work. So if you have an area of your body that maybe feels a little restricted, meaning it feels tight or sore, or you have limited use, let me know. So just comment below and I'll put together a video for you. And if you're subscribed, you'll be notified. So let's start on your back. And this first stretch that we're going to do, this first movement, you can do simply in and of itself. So come onto your back, and the left leg will pull the knee into the chest and flex the right foot, the lifted leg, lift it up to the ceiling. So what we're doing here is we're contracting the front of the left hip, and there's also contraction on the front of the right hip. We're going to be working through the right hip. So point the right toes up to the ceiling and start to lower the right foot to the floor. Doesn't need to touch the floor, but start to reach through the right toes as you pull the left knee into the rib. So you feel it firming onto your side body. And then flex your right foot and lift the right leg up. Point the right toes and reach the right toes away as you lower the leg. And then give yourself that moment to pause to really feel the extension of the front of the right hip. You're contracting the back of the leg. Flex the foot, lift it up again. And then just come through a few of these movements. You're getting some bonus work in the ankle. So we also have to work on ankle movement, ankle mobility as well. And you're getting a little bit of that through this flexion and pointing. But just notice what you're feeling on the front of the right hip. Come through just a few more times. If you would like to pause at that full extension, then go for that. If that's what's feeling really good today, to really reach and open the front of the hip. And then we'll lift the right leg up, pull the right knee into your chest, and just notice that energy on the front of the hip of the right leg. Just notice the feeling, the sensation. And then we'll extend the left leg up, pull the right thigh bone into your side ribs, and then point the left toes up and start to lower the leg. Reach through the toes. Really feel that opening on the front of the left hip as you reach, reach, reach. You're also contracting the buttock. Then you flex the foot and come back up. And then again, point the toes, reach through the toes. Feel opening of the front of the hip, flex and lift up. And then that same amount of awareness, some say mindfulness, or you could just simply say observation skills that you're developing to just feel the opening on the front of the left hip. And it's not about rushing the process, but noticing, oh, wow, I can only lower my left foot to about a foot off the floor because the hip flexor is restricted. So you do it every day, and then the leg can hover off the floor as you start to open up the hip. So it's this time for you to observe you and notice, what does your body need? Something that feels limited? Is your body saying, hey, can you do this a little bit more for me? To create more mobility. And mobility means strength. Mobility means protection from possible injury. And that's what we want. All right, let's just come through a few more times. You stopping at points where your body says so. And then we'll pull both knees into your chest. Just close your eyes As you pull your knees into your chest, notice any energy, the work on the front of the left hip. And then a rock up to a seat. You'll cross your ankles and stand tall. So, standing on your mat, and I'm going to actually move behind the mat because of the angle of the camera. Have your feet 6 inches apart, heels and toes. Feel balance through the mound below, big toe, pinky toe, inner heel, outer heel. And then what I want you to feel here is the hip flexor movement in this side fold. So you're going to bring your left hand to your left hip and then reach your right arm up and over. So if you just side fold a bit, there's not a lot of movement in the front of the right hip. But if you use your left hand to press the hips, the pelvis, over to the right as far as you can go, then you start to feel this opening on the front of the right hip. Press down through the right foot. Engage the right thigh muscle by hugging it to the bone. And then start to lean a little bit back into your right shoulder. And then keep pressing the hips to the right, pulling your belly in, navel to spine. And then you'll slowly come up. You should have felt a lot of opening on the front of the right hip. So let's bring the right hand to the right hip and then bump the hips over to the left and reach the left arm up and over. So you're pressing the whole pelvic package, the whole pelvic girdle over to the left, and you're reaching in the opposite direction with your left fingers. Now see if you can press your left foot down, squeeze your left glute, and lean back into your left shoulder. Give yourself another moment here. And then slowly come up. Notice this energy on the front of the hips. And take a breath in. And a breath out. And then let's come back to the mat. And the best way to really open up the front of the hip is to engage and make a muscle with the back of the hip, so the buttocks. And what is most effective are these low, tight crescent lunge is what I call them. So you'll step forward with your right foot, and what is key is that your left hip is directly over the knee. Hold on to your outer hips, and just notice we're moving the pelvis on the stable thigh bone. So your legs don't move, the pelvis moves. So start to pull the front rim of the pelvis up. See how I'm doing that? I'm pulling the front rim of the pelvis up. And as soon as I do that, my left buttock, the base of the buttock starts to firm. Now, you can bring more work into this by you engaging. So press down with the left toenails, the left foot. Squeeze the left buttock. So you're gonna like make a muscle, make a fist with your left glute. And then zipper your front core, meaning if your navel was a zipper, feel as if you're pulling it up towards your chest. And then there's a slight movement forward with the pelvis, and then the belly draws back, and you reach your arms out. So keep feeling this lengthening of the tailbone down, and the belly scooping in and up. Give yourself another inhale here, and an exhale. Bring your hands to your hips, and then you're going to pivot. So this is similar to Warrior 2 posture in yoga, but the back leg, you're on the knee opposed to the foot. So in this modification or variation of the posture, you can get more access to the movement of the pelvis. So let's pull, again, like you did when you were facing forward, the front rim of the pelvis up. So again, I'm rotating my pelvis on the steady thigh bone. Then you'll feel your outer hips and glutes contract. That's what we want. We want to contract the back body so the front of the pelvis, the front of the hip opens. And then start to lunge a little bit over to the right. you're lengthening the tailbone down, and then open your arms wide. Notice if you're hunched in the chest, you can draw your shoulder blades together. So when you engage the upper back muscles, the front of the chest opens. And then just reach through your fingers as you pull the scapula, the shoulder blades together. Give yourself another inhale and an exhale. Bring your left hand to thigh, flip your right hand, and then just come into this side fold again. So reaching the right knee forward, reach back through the right fingers, and then you'll come up and bring the forearm down to the thigh. Sweep the left arm up and over. Again, you want to feel this movement of the pelvis. So if your hips are pulling back, meaning to the space your back is facing, that's a little bit of restriction in the hip flexors. So press the pubis towards the wall your belly faces, and you can lunge a little deeper. You're feeling a lot here in the opening of the front of the left hip. And you're leaning back into your left shoulder. Stay here for an inhale and an exhale. Slowly come up, and we'll pivot and set up with the opposite leg forward. So step the left foot forward. So now your right hip is stacked directly over the knee. Squeeze the buttock. And then that same feeling of pulling the front of the pelvis up as you're squeezing the glute. Tailbone is down. Lower belly draws in, and you start to reach your arms up. So feel the tailbone lengthen down as your lower belly draws in, pressing your heart forward. You can also amp it up if you feel yourself pressing your back toenails down. Keep pulling your ribs in. Give yourself an inhale. And on an exhale, we'll pivot and open to this kneeling warrior two variation. So front heel lines up with back knee, and then you're starting to pull the front rim of the pelvis up. Begin to lunge over to the left as you open your arms wide. And then feel yourself contracting, so meaning drawing energy in, tightening the outer hips and the glutes as you look. Notice again, if you're a little hunched forward, your chest lifts. You draw shoulder blades together. And then just steady your gaze as you continue to lunge a little bit more to the left. Another inhale and an exhale. Left hand flips and you revolve your warrior. So notice if you're coming all the way back onto your right leg. Keep lunging to the left. Reach back with the left hand. Reach away with the left knee. And then let's come into side angle. Forearm down, sweep the right arm up and over. So keep lunging here. Pull your belly in and lean into your right shoulder. Give yourself another few breaths. Feel opening on the front of the right hip. And then slowly come up, hands down to the mat, and let's set our hips back to the heels. So, that feeling, that sensation is what you want to practice on your knees, really engaging the glutes, the back body, to open up the front of the hips. You want to do that on your knees, and then take it into postures like high crescent lunge in warrior one, where hips are squared to the short edge of the mat, and then your warrior two, your side angle, also your triangle. Another posture would be half moon. Also tree pose is what you want to feel, that opening of the front of the hips. So practice it here, and then you can take it to the next level. So until next time, have a great practice and namaste. Also remember, give me a like, a comment, and I'm here to support you in your practice. So let me know what videos you would like to see. Take care.